Once upon a bustling landscape, there were two highways named Rodi and Hemway. Rodi was the proud king of the road. It stretched across the city with thousands of vehicles speeding along its lanes every day. The trucks, cars and motorcycles loved Rodi. They honked and zoomed, filling the highway with constant motion. Rodi revelled in this. It felt like the heart of the city, keeping everything moving and alive. On the other side of the city was Hemway, a highway under construction. Its pillars were still rising and the road was far from complete. Workers came and went, laying the foundation, but Hemway wasn't ready yet. It watched Rodi from afar and admired how busy and important it seemed. Hemway longed for the day it would be full of traffic too. But Rodi didn't have much respect for Hemway. "Look at you," Rodi would say whenever they spoke. "You're just a bunch of dust and machinery. You think you'll ever be like me?" One day, feeling a little bold, Hemway asked, "Rodi, do you think I'll ever be as important as you?" Rodi chuckled. "Hemway, you're nothing but a construction site. Look at me, thousands of vehicles use my lanes every day. I am the pulse of this city. It takes more than dreams to handle all this chaos. You'll never be like me." Hemway, though hurt, didn't give up. "Every great highway starts from the ground up," it said softly. "You were once like me, weren't you?" Rodi paused for a moment, remembering its early days. It had been a messy construction site once too, full of cranes, bulldozers and dust. But Rodi brushed off the memory. "Yeah, but it took hard work to get here. Dreams aren't enough to keep traffic moving. You've got a long way to go." Despite Rodi's harsh words, Hemway didn't lose hope. As the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, Hemway slowly grew. Its lanes started to take shape and its pillars stood taller. The construction workers worked hard, pouring their effort into making Hemway strong and reliable. Rodi, still proud and confident, continued its reign as the busiest highway in the city. It barely noticed the progress Hemway was making, too focused on its own bustling lanes. But the city was changing, and so was Hemway. Then, one day, a massive storm hit the city. Dark clouds gathered and rain poured down heavily. The winds howled and lightning cracked the sky. Rodi, which had always been smooth and strong, began to suffer. The heavy rain formed potholes and some of its lanes became cracked and uneven. Traffic slowed and drivers grew frustrated. Meanwhile, Hemway, though still under construction, stood firm. Its newly built sections were reinforced with modern materials that could withstand the storm. As the rain continued to pour, Hemway remained untouched, quietly waiting for its moment. After the storm, the city was in chaos. Rodi, once the city's pride, was now riddled with potholes and cracks. Drivers complained and repairs were slow. The once bustling highway had lost its charm. Hemway, on the other hand, was nearing completion. Its smooth lanes and modern design caught the attention of the city planners. "Maybe it's time to open Hemway," they said. "Rodi can't handle all the traffic right now, and Hemway is ready." And so, with a grand ceremony, Hemway was opened to the public. Cars, trucks and buses flowed onto its fresh, wide lanes. The drivers marveled at how smooth and efficient it was. Hemway had been built with smart technology, traffic sensors, eco-friendly materials and noise reduction features. It wasn't just another highway, it was the future. Rodi, still recovering from the storm's damage, watched in disbelief. Hemway, the highway it had once mocked, was now the preferred route for many commuters. The city embraced Hemway's innovation, and more vehicles chose it over Rodi. Hemway's dreams had come true. At first, Rodi felt resentment. How could Hemway, once just a construction site, rise to such prominence? Rhodey had been the king of the road for so long. But over time, Rhodey couldn't deny what had happened. One day, Rhodey finally spoke to Hemway again. "I see you've done well, Hemway," Rhodey said, its voice quieter than before. "Maybe I was wrong about you. It turns out there's more to being a highway than just handling traffic. You had the potential all along." Hemway, ever humble, replied, "Thank you, Rhodey. But I couldn't have done it without the workers in the city. It's not about being the busiest or the biggest. It's about growing, adapting, and serving the people who travel across us." Rhodey nodded. "You're right. I've learned that even the greatest highways can face challenges. I guess we all need to grow and change." And so, the two highways found their place in the city. Rhodey, while still important, no longer saw itself as the sole ruler of the roads. It shared the city with Hemway, learning that there was room for both old and new. Hemway continued to thrive, but it never forgot where it started, from a construction site filled with dust and dreams. In the end, the story of Rhodey and Hemway became a tale of humility, growth, and respect. They learned that no matter how strong or busy a highway might seem, there's always room for improvement, and even the most unlikely roads can rise to greatness.